Hello everyone. In the earlier part, we have seen about the outbreak of the revolutions in the late 18th century. How was the France? These two things we have seen in the earlier part. Now we are moving ahead with the next point of the chapter. In this part, we are going to see about the France abolishes monarchy and become republic. The situation, the outbreak of the period we have seen how it was there. The king accepted the monarchical constitution. Constitution should limit the monarchical rule, that accepted by the king. But he accepted it appears from outside. In mind, he was playing, he was having different plans. He was not happy with this control on his power. The situation in France continued to be tense during the following years. After the constitutional limitation of the monarchy, the stability did not come in the France. Instability remained as it is. Although Louis XVI had signed the constitution, he entered into secret negotiations with the King of Prussia. The king accepted the constitution, he signed the constitution, but the Louis XVI came in the secret negotiations of the King Prussia to crush the revolutionary movements of the France, because in Europe the other powers also worried with the development of the France. What happening in the France if this same happen in their region also? So what will happen? That is why these people were in worry and they became ready to help to the King Louis XVI of the France. Rulers of other neighboring countries too were worried by the development in the France and made plans to send troops to put down the event that had been taking place there since the summer of 1789. These people became ready, the King of Prussia became ready to send troops on the France to stop the revolutionary development of the France and to help with the Louis XVI and re-establish the complete monarchical rule in the France. Before this could happen, Before this could happen, the National Assembly voted in April 1792 to declare war against Prussia and Austria. So the plan was overthrown by the National Assembly. They declare war against of the Prussia and Austria because of these activities when they came to know about it. Thousands of volunteers thronged from the province to join the army. They saw this as a war of the people against king and aristocracies of over Europe. Thousands of people joined to this war. Volunteers joined because these people were thinking this is the war against of the aristocracy, against of the monarchy throughout the Europe. Among the patriotic songs, they sung many patriotic songs while doing so. In that, they sung Marseilles also. The Marseilles was composed by the poet Roger D. L. Isley. It was sung for the first time by volunteers from Marseilles as they marched into Paris, and so got its name also as a Marseilles. The Marseilles is the national anthem of the France. This is not as national anthem of the France. The Revolutionary War brought losses and economic difficulties to the people. This Revolutionary War was not smooth, it brought losses, economical losses, and difficulties in the country, in the families. While men were away fighting to the front, women were left to cope with the task of earning a living and looking after their families. When men were busy on the front to fight against of the aristocracy, that time the family responsibilities came on the shoulder of the women. Large section of population were convinced that the revolution had to be carried further as the Constitution of 1791 gave political rights only to the richer section of society. The people from the France were interested to continue the revolutionary war because they were thinking they did not get much more with the revolution 17 with the constitution 1791. The richer section only got the political rights, the all people not get. So that is why these people were interested to continue the revolutionary war. So in that work, the political clubs became an important rallying points for people who wished to discuss government policies and plans their own form of action. Different clubs rise. In this club, the discussions were held in about the policies of government, and the discussions were of the expectation by the government or what actions will be react after any policy brought by the government. The most successful of these club was that the Jacobin. Among that clubs, the Jacobin clubs were very famous. They get name which got its name from the former convent of Saint Jacob in Paris. Women too, who had been active throughout this period, formed their own clubs. Women also formed their own clubs. The member of Jacobin clubs belonged mainly to the less prosperous section of society. The people who formed the Jacobin clubs, these people belongs from the less prosperous economic status, less prosperous families of the society. They included small shopkeepers who were the shopkeepers, artisan such as shoemaker, pastry cook, watchmakers, painters, printers, as well as servants and daily wage workers. Their leaders was Maximilian Robespierre. The people from different category were came together in this club, and their leader was Maximilian Robespierre. Keep their name in a mind because this is the name very important about whom we are going to study in the next part. A large group among the Jacobins decided was a way of proclaiming the end of the power wielded by the wearers of knee breeches. They were thinking the power is wielded, covered, remain in the hand of only those who are wearing the knee breeches. This was the thought among the members of Jacobin. So the reaction of the Jacobin members was they changed their appearance. How they changed their appearance? Look, the Jacobins came to be known as sans-culottes. On the earlier page, one picture is shown there. They are sans-culottes, literally meaning those without knee breeches. These people, the meaning is of the sans-culotte is the without knee breeches because they were thinking the power is welded in the hand of the those who wears knee breeches. This is the appearance of the European people, their outlook. If you remember any European in our history, their clothing pattern, if you remember, that is they wears the breeches near of the knee. So these people thinking these are the knee breeches. Themselves they are thinking without knee breeches. Sans culottes men or in addition the red cap. Along with this wearing, these people were wearing red caps that symbolized liberty. The red cap was the symbol of the liberty, but women were not allowed to do so. Only men were doing this thing. What is Jacobin Club done? We'll see. In the summer of 1792, the Jacobins planned an insurrection of a large number of Persians who were angered by the short supplies and high prices of food. These people, the Jacobins, planned in 1792 to make an insurrection on the Persian because these Persians were angered them by making short supplies of the high prices and food. On the morning of August 10, they stormed the palace of the Tuileries. This is the palace of the Tuileries. It is where the King Louis XVI was living his along with family. So these Jacobin members stormed on the August 10th the palace of Tuileries, massacred, killed the king's guards. Those who were guards there, they massacred or killed by these members of the Jacobin and held the king himself as a hostage for several hours. And they kept the king as a hostage for several hours. Hostage in demand of something, keeping someone, catching someone, holding someone. In kidnapping cases, in films, it's shown there how the people, those who are kidnapped, one, how they making the person hostage and demanding something there. So in that way, the king also hostage here, kept by the revolutionaries. Later, the assembly voted to imprison the royal family. Afterward, the assembly voted to imprison this royal family. Royal family means the king, his wife, and children. Elections were held. After imprisoning this one, elections were held from now on. Men of 21 years and above, regardless of wealth, got the right to vote. So, from this incident, from this event, all men who ever completed his 21 years had get right to vote. The newly elected assembly was called the convention. The name of newly assembly is convention. The earlier was called National Assembly. This is the convention. These are the changes in the terms. These are the phases of the political changes in the France. On 21st September 1792, it is abolished the monarchy and declared France a republic. This convention on 21st September 1792 abolished the complete monarchy and declared France as a republic. The republic means republic is a form of a government where the people elects the government, including the head of the government also. The government is elected by the people. The head of government is also elected by the people. That kind of government is called republic. There is no hereditary monarchy. In this kind, no hereditary monarchy is there. You have to look whether any other countries are there which are republic and when they got this republic. Louis XVI was sentenced to death by a court on the charge of treason on 21st January 1793. The king was sentenced in the charge of treason, the act against of nation, Deshdroha. That is called Deshdroha. In the Deshdroha or in the treason, the Louis XVI was sentenced by the court in the charge of treason. On 24 January 1793, he was executed publicly at the place of Concord. The Queen Mary Antony met with the same fate shortly after. King and his wife, Queen, both were sentenced in the France.